Little Caesars came out with pepperoni pizza puffs, which is essentially pepperoni pizzas cooked inside of a muffin tray with pizza dough. I'm gonna take that and do something completely different while keeping the same concept. Chicken pesto puffs. We got pizza dough. We got homemade basil pesto. We're gonna grate some Monterey Jack cheese. I'm gonna cook up some shredded chicken. We're gonna chop up some sun-dried tomatoes, put all of that inside this cupcake tray, bake it, and then make all of our chicken pesto dreams come true. First thing we're doing is making the basil pesto. Normally I would do it in this, but it doesn't pulverize it enough, so I'm using the magic bullet. You guys want a magic bullet? shop.amazon.com/TheJoshElkin. Find yours today. Support the channel. All right, we're about to do my favorite thing as of late, and that's grate some cheese. That's right. Switching it up. This is how easy this shit is, guys. Parmesan cheese. Parmesan cheese. Every time it gets me. It's just so easy. Got our parm, set that aside. We're using more parm later too, by the way. I'm gonna crush the entire cupcake in it. Okay, so we're gonna add a ton of basil. I love basil, and press it all the way down because if I don't, I won't be able to fit the rest of the ingredients, and then I'm worried that it's not going to blend properly. But if you are using a magic bullet, you want to put the leaves in first and then add the oil and the Parmesan cheese because the blade's going to go on top, and when you flip it over, physics. And add 4 cloves of garlic, about a cup of Parmesan cheese. Normally you use pine nuts with pesto, but I am allergic. Instead, I'm gonna use these pepitas, which are also pumpkin seeds. So we're just gonna pop those in. I'm gonna add about, I don't know, it's about a 1/4 cup. I'm gonna add about a 1/2 cup of oil. Season that bad boy up with some salt and pepper. One more thing before we go, and that is a lemon. These are cooked bacon bits, but they're not fried. They're just cured and cooked, kind of like a cold cut. So I'm just gonna crisp them up and then use the residual grease to cook the chicken. Bacon bits cooked, extracted, put on a paper towel. Hey Josh, what do you do with all the leftover bacon grease? Typically, I let it solidify and then throw it in the garbage. Or, if I'm making something that requires another protein, I use it instead of olive oil. It's no secret that I've been cooking bacon professionally for 14 years, and I've been asked countless amounts of times, what do you do with the bacon grease? Now, there's a lot of things you could do with bacon grease. You could make it solidified, put a wick in it, and use it as a bacon candle. It'll be weird, but it'll work. You could also just let it solidify and throw it in the garbage. You could make bacon compound butter with it, or you could just save it to fry things like eggs, potatoes, etc. One thing you don't want to do with bacon grease is throw it in the drain and or the toilet, because then it'll mix with the cold water, solidify, and you'll have clogged drains. And we're not trying to clog your drains, we're trying to clog your arteries. This is chopped up chicken. It's essentially like cheesesteak shaved steak, but chicken version. This is a chicken pesto dish, so I'm gonna add a little bit of Italian seasoning. This is my favorite part about cooking. I was just gonna add layers of this stuff, but now I'm like, you know what? Might as well put all the protein together, right? So I got this chicken. I'm gonna add the bacon to the chicken. I'm crazy like that. All right, this is gonna get set aside. I'm gonna grate some cheese. I'm gonna roll out some dough. We're gonna chop some tomatoes. And then we're gonna make pizza cupcakes, or should I say pizza puffs. They're pizza puffs, they're pizza puffs, okay? Little Caesars versus Pizza Pizza. Very similar companies, but completely separate in entities. They both have the same color scheme, orange. They even both say pizza and have hot and ready pizzas. Fun fact, when Little Caesars tried to come to Canada, they had to change their slogan, Pizza Pizza, because of the trademark that Pizza Pizza in Canada actually had. So instead, they say 2 pizzas, which obviously doesn't have the same ring to it. But don't take my word for it. Go on the Reddit Degrassi subreddit and they talk about it. Never did I ever think I would talk about Degrassi High on my YouTube channel. I mean, you know, the whole Drake situation that's going on right now. He was on Degrassi. Jimmy got shot in the back. Very similar to what's happening now in hip hop. All right, so for this Parmesan experience, I'm actually not gonna use the Easy Grate 1000. Instead, I'm gonna use a regular box grater, and that's because this thing right here, okay? This part of the box grater, the part that you probably was just for decoration or just for scratching your knuckles. It's actually to make ground parm. By the way, if you know what this is called, because I don't, I'm just calling it the knuckle scratcher, then leave a comment and let me know because I need to be educated. All right, check it out. This is what I was talking about. This looks like it came from that green tube or green jar. Monterey Jack. Actually, it's Colby's great uncle. True story. It feels so basic because it just impresses me every time. We're definitely not gonna need this much cheese, but once I get going, can't stop. One last thing, I'm gonna chop up some sun-dried tomatoes just for a little bit of acidity, a little bit of color. Sun-dried tomatoes are pretty fucking hype anyways. What I think I'm gonna do with these is I'm gonna kind of sprinkle them on top. My idea is like cheese, chicken, bacon, pesto, cheese, sun-dried tomatoes. It's no secret that a lot of my food is layered with different ingredients, different textures, cheese, meat, dough, sauces, vegetables. There's an archetype to that, right? Like you gotta figure out what do you want the thing, in this case the pizza puff, to look like from the top. What do you want it to flow with when you cut it open? In this case, when I opened it, I wanted the cheese to flow, I wanted the green to be present, and I wanted the chicken to be the star. Okay, let's get to building. Got our trusty extra large muffin tray. I know from every other time that I've used this shit, if I don't spray it, I'm gonna lose it. Pizza dough, I'm using this refrigerated pizza dough. And the reason I'm doing that is because it's a controlled pizza dough that isn't gonna rise like a homemade version. This is a thin crust, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut circles using a cookie cutter that is a little bit bigger than the circumference of the muffin tray, right? That should work. And if this fails, I have another roll of pizza dough, and I won't tell you that I failed. We'll just cut to this. Okay. Already a good start. God damn it. All right, so we're using pre-made pizza dough. I'm not gonna use a cookie cutter or anything like that because that wouldn't work. I'm just guessing maybe it wouldn't work. I didn't try before and failed completely and try it with another piece of dough. So to avoid having to do that, what we're gonna do is just cut these into large squares, 6 of them, and then form them to the muffin tray. I'm gonna add a little bit of parm inside each one on a round, because I want each cupcake rather, to have like a Parmesan crusted kind of situation. I'm gonna place it inside each one and sort of just form it around by pressing it to the edges, making sure there's no air pockets. And I'm trying to kind of press it up all the way to the sides, right, like that. Okay, here we go. First thing we're gonna do is add a little dollop of basil pesto inside each cup. You don't have to put that much, probably about a teaspoon, maybe a little bit more, because we're gonna be adding another layer of this with the meat. Now we're gonna add a little bit of Monterey Jack cheese. All right, a little bit of the bacon chicken mixture. Ooh, this is gonna be so good. All right, now it's important to press it down, okay? We're adding 3 more ingredients, if you can believe it. We're gonna add a little bit more basil pesto, some more cheese, and some sun-dried tomatoes. Who can take the same ingredients all the time and make different things more than I can? Like, I just use the same shit over and over again. See you in a bit when these are done. What I have here is an evolution of something that was pretty basic. A pizza puff from Little Caesars. Sounds like a great idea. Probably is. I don't know, because I didn't try it. But took that concept and used chicken pesto as a muse. We got pizza dough, pepita pesto, chicken, bacon, Monterey Jack cheese, a little bit of sun-dried tomato on top, which got a little burnt, but it got crispy, and underneath that, as you can see, is the redness, so it didn't all get burnt, just a little bit of crispiness on top. This is so ridiculously good. Holy shit, look at that. Look at that pull. Oh my goodness. The oil that I used to make the basil pesto, it was extracted from the basil, from the pepitas, garlic, and parmesan, and ultimately crept underneath the pizza dough, creating almost like a pie crust. It's like flaky. The amount of texture in here, incredible. Flavor, unmatched. This is one of those things where if you don't make it, I feel sorry for you. I do, because it's that good. Let me know what other puffs I should make. That is a banger. First step, making the pesto basil. That's pure dyslexia right there. First up, making the